Hey, this is Matt Cain with the San Francisco Giants, and you guys are listening to TortureCast.
You're listening to a podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants, with hosts Willie Dills, Chad King, and Ben Lee.
Let's go Giants! Let's go Giants!
Dedicated to the greatest team in Major League Baseball history, the San Francisco Giants. This is TortureCast.
Standing on time, not gonna stop. We came to play, ain't slowing down. We're here to stay, and we're stomping on whatever's in our way. I'm feeling like a giant tonight.
Welcome, everybody, to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. This is a bonusode after a Giants win, so it'll be nice and cheerful.
Really enjoying this drinking and celebration. This
Yeah.
is
Two
nice
bonusodes
change.
in a row that we've won.
This is crazy.
insane.
This is
Yeah,
weird.
it's
I
just
don't know
It
what's
hasn't
going
happened
on.
this year yet.
I'm really liking this change from drinking out of despair. It's
Yeah.
it feels entirely different.
It's a happy drunk.
Victory drinking, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
the beers taste mysteriously the same, but that's not the point.
the other good thing about this bonusode is we got the whole crew here. So minus,
We haven't done this in a while.
minus
I
of
know.
course, the ladies who are not here. No Jen Cosgrove today.
No.
Allie Williams.
So let's just end it
Duh.
right now.
But we do have myself, Willie
So we're
Dills.
quitting.
We've also got Chad King, and then of course Ben Lee is back. What's up, Ben?
Hey,
Didn't actually make it into the press box with us because you actually had a
I
ticket.
actually had a real ticket
Yeah.
for the actual video gamer night. It's great.
Yeah.
It was great. No,
So
it's
you're the only one who
gamer
has
night.
the
video
yeah,
gamer night
video
because
gamer
we're gamers, but are we video gamers?
gamer babe
That's
night.
where it's.
That would be people would tweet about how that's sexist.
I was
if
gonna
they
say,
had that night.
well,
Yeah.
video gamer babe night would definitely be sexist because
Yeah,
all the video gamers don't believe such a thing exists, and all the video gamer babes are really pissed they don't believe it exists. So,
yeah.
anyway,
So you are the only one who got the sweet bobblehead, though, or it's not even a bobblehead. It's just like a figure.
It's a McFarlane figure,
Yeah.
so it's really nice detail. I'll
It's Assassin's Creed. It's based on
take it
like
out
the
so we can all
newest.
talk about it. Even though if I
game.
take it out, no one can see this since we're recording audio.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
but
like
whatever,
Seth
we could
MacFarlane.
describe
I
it.
thought it was like a Peter Griffin or Stewie bobblehead.
Before
Yeah,
we
but it's
before we
Peter
go,
Griffin with,
no, different
you know.
McFarlane, yeah. Before we get
Lawrence
into
Bar.
before we get into the actual game, we will talk. Let's talk briefly about the gamer night thing.
Yeah, I mean, we brought up on the last podcast that it's always going to be a focus of ours because it's something we like, and so
Yeah.
it's kind of neat that
We all
we had
like
a chance
video
to-
games. We all
yeah.
like the Giants. It was like the perfect combination of those two things.
And I think they realized that, which is kind of nice.
We'd considered briefly doing some sort of a TortureCast type of meetup thing, but then the tickets situation was weird. Couldn't get tickets together. So that didn't end up happening. But and then we had a mini one of sorts. Our friend Cameron was here, and then also Mike was here tonight. So there was plenty of TortureCast fans in the house. I want to get your guys' impression of the pre-game event. I mean, I guess it was cool. I think I was expecting more of. I think they could have done a little more with it. To be
I'm
quite
sure
honest.
they could have done more with it, but you know they were sort of. They pointed out that it was the first one that's been done by Major League Baseball, which I started to be a little surprised by, and then remember that we're San Francisco, and went, actually I'm not that surprised when I think of it.
Yeah,
This
how
is a
many
city
other
that-
teams do like a lot of the nights we do?
Yeah, I mean this is a
Irish
city
Heritage
that
Night,
Filipino Heritage Night.
and Filipino Heritage Night. Yeah.
This is a city that doesn't just embrace culture.
Star
like,
Wars
just,
Day?
like
Now everyone does
Right.
that.
Now everyone does that.
Oh God.
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Do they really?
everybody-
That's a thing now?
everyone-
Everybody
it's
does
like
that?
It's
Oh,
almost
wow.
bought by Disney. It's like a league wide thing.
Wow.
now.
Yeah,
almost
really?
every club
Almost
does
every
that.
team
Star
does
Wars
that
at
now.
some
That's
point.
lame.
Maybe all of them. I'd love to know if there's one that doesn't know. But as far as like these individual different nights of appreciation for things, this one was made a little bit bigger. There was an
Yeah.
event. There was a special event giveaway. That was a big deal.
There was speakers. It was basically like there was like this was
Physical
a
speakers,
mini
yes.
con type of moment. It was a panel.
It was a panel.
I gotta
was a-
say though, I felt
As people who have seen panels, I think we
Seen a
all
lot
knew
of
that
panels.
it was a pretty lackluster panel.
it
although
was thrown
Todd
together.
McFarlane was
Todd
entertaining.
McFarlane did his thing. He came out
The
and
guys-
he brought it as much as he could.
The
have.
guys from Machinima were entertaining. They
They
had
were.
some things to say. You know.
Yeah, but I feel like it was the people didn't have much to do with each other. They were all
Right.
definitely like in the gaming world, but then the girl who was
completely
interviewing them
different ways,
didn't
and-
seem to know that much about them. Was kind of throwing out general gaming questions, and I was
she
hoping
works for IGN. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like she doesn't
But
know anything.
the
It's
thing-
just
I
that the
assume
way
that she
the panel,
does.
No, I'm sure she
Yeah.
does. But the way that the panel was put together,
Yeah.
especially the attempt to sort of tie it directly into baseball instead of sort of assuming everyone around you is a baseball fan that's already interested
Yeah.
in video games, it was sort of a like, let's pander to the occasion a little bit.
Sure.
And I definitely feel
if
like
I
it
was in charge of it, though, I would have done something more like, here's some guys, we'll introduce them, we'll talk to each one briefly, and then we'll just do questions from the audience, and then a
which
quick
they did move
meet
to
and greet.
eventually. Towards
Well,
the end.
But it kind of seemed like a lot of the time was that we bounced a little bit before that, I guess, but we just kind of...
No, they were pretty much done when we left.
Yeah.
No, I mean, they did questions for a little bit afterwards.
Oh,
they had a
from the
couple of neat
audience?
ones. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't catch all of them. I had moved a little farther away to kind of look around what few other things were there. They also didn't have a ton of other stuff. It was literally like, here's the place where we're doing the speaking.
Yeah, there wasn't
And
anything
then
else going on.
concessions,
Really. Yeah.
the giveaway stand, and
The other thing, too,
beer and
was
soda.
before the panel, like, there's some missed opportunities. Before the panel, there was just kind of standard pop hit music playing.
Yeah, after as well.
Could
the
have
first thing
done-
they cut right into was Usher's "Yeah," which is
There's
exactly what you
plenty
expect.
of gaming-specific DJs
Bang, bang
out
into
there.
the room, you know.
You
things
could have
like
grabbed
that,
a ton of different DJs who do like 8-bit
I mean,
music and all of it pulled out of
in
video
San
games.
Francisco too.
It's
like,
not hard to find a guy who does that.
No,
No.
here.
Seriously.
No.
There's like
I think
5
they
or
just
6 I
streamed
know of.
Pandora top hits
Yeah.
or something.
It did
Yeah.
kinda,
It was pretty bad.
It did seem a little bit like they had a set of just sort of like standard issue. Here's what we do for events thing, and sort of rolled it out.
Yeah.
without stopping
And
to
I'm
go to the
fine
audience
with it. Whatever, it's fine. Like I'm not gonna put down the Giants for that. But I feel like if you're gonna do these really kind of cool theme events, it would be nice to bring in maybe one person who,
least
rather
has
than
done
like
this
here we'll
kind of
bring
theme
in
event.
somebody and just
Yeah.
get some guests and here's a giveaway. Like bring in somebody who can like put the little finishing touches on it because these are all
Sort of
you know how
sew
gamers
it all
are.
together. Gamers like
Yeah.
detail.
When we come and
yeah.
we see this event,
We expect a certain
wanna
level.
See, yeah, we've gone to the
certain thing.
BlizzCons and
Well,
the Dragon Cons.
I don't think
and
anybody expected
Comic-Cons.
BlizzCon out of this.
No. But you know,
But
what I
you
mean.
certainly
Yeah.
like. But you can't help comparing something that feels like a panel
Yeah.
to a panel.
Yeah.
And going
Well,
well.
you just want that experience of like this is
Like, I'm
these
here for-
is
I'm here
brought
for-
to me by gamers.
I'm here
and-
for something. I'm not just like here for the Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
figure and incidentally here's
Yeah.
a panel.
Well,
I'd like to at least be around.
You had
for
all
it.
these
We're gonna
gamers
start
wearing
early.
Giants gear in the
It's
crowd,
also-
obviously.
yeah,
I mean,
it's great.
who's
Which
not
was
going to be
great.
wearing that?
I mean, that was
But you
fun
had
to see.
McFarlane. He was entertaining. He was fine. You know, he had
Yeah.
little anecdotes about playing Pac-10 baseball, which
Apparently, he played
I
college baseball.
really
yeah.
don't know
I
if that
don't-
really happened. But
Well, he said he was
he
gonna
did grow
throw
up
a
in San Jose,
strike.
by the way, which was odd.
Yeah,
I
he
grew
said
up
he
in
was
San
going to throw a
Jose.
strike when he threw the
He-
first
I was
pitch
gonna
out. and It
say
was
he-
not a strike.
No,
It was a
That's
very
not a
it was a
strike.
very fast ball though.
No,
I mean,
yeah, he
and
threw
was-
it like you know
was
how to throw a
straight-
baseball,
he
yeah.
definitely threw it through a baseball. Just got amped up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Gotta
as
keep
you
that- you
do.
know those rookie pitchers first time on the mound.
As you do, yeah.
The Machinima guys, the one guy,
was on the
despite the
mound,
fact
too,
that he was a
wasn't he?
Dodgers fan,
but
he was
he
pretty
played that off
entertaining.
there pretty good.
Yeah, he played it off really well. But it was that first developer guy, and I mean, I don't think they prepped him at all. Because
Oh,
he
man.
was kind of out there, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't know anything about baseball. Yeah, I'm Canadian. Yeah, I like hockey. Yeah,
Well,
like
she
no,
specifically
there's no
asked
giant
him-
players that I think are in that would.
She
be in
specifically
the game.
asked him
Yeah.
and put him on the spot, and I was like, "Didn't you before the
That's what I
panel
mean. They didn't even
ask
brief
him,
him.
like, hey,
You
do
didn't
you know
even
about
give him
baseball?"
I
like-
would think,
Yeah.
any Giants player could be in the game. It's
Yeah.
like, you don't even know who the Giants are, basically. is
Yeah,
what-
that's fine,
it's
whatever.
clear.
But don't ask him a question.
But
That was the
prep,
problem.
yeah.
It's
It
not
was
his
on-
fault he doesn't
No,
know.
not at all. That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
No,
Prep
it was
him.
yeah. It was just it was something
was
that
awkward.
I think it was super awkward. It
Yeah.
showed a lot of promise. It was awkwardly done, but it was a nice sort of outreach by the Giants
Yeah.
to say, "Hey, this is a community that we recognize."
I guess though.
Well, it'd be like if I was a developer
Here's what I'm
and I
gonna
was
say.
doing a pregame thing for the San Jose Earthquakes. No offense, Ben, but if they asked me
Yeah,
which
but
one of
you-
the earthquakes would be in your video game, I'd be like, I don't know any of the earthquakes, but I like
don't-
baseball.
I don't soccer well.
Exactly.
But the thing,
can't
okay,
actually
but
suck.
here's the point I want to make is that the Giants do a lot of the social media and the events and all that stuff really well, and I want them to succeed at this kind of stuff. And if they do this kind of stuff, they could easily find someone who will jump on board and be like the expert who will feed them ideas. And I used to actually talk to some dudes who ran events, and he asked me ideas about their poker event one time.
Right.
And I was like, well, give out poker chips first of all, and do that, and then get like
Oh, everybody
Antonio
loves poker
Esfandiari
chips.
and
Everybody
Hell
get,
yeah.
you know, and basically like get a poker player and then have people like, you know, play a hand of poker, like get something going where you're getting, because like what if they had like you know,
had
Hunter
some
Pence didn't
video
even
games
know
set up.
about it, by the way. Like you got Hunter Pence out there, he's your gamer on the
Well,
team.
you couldn't have before game time.
But you
let's face
can a certain amount of time before game. The players participate in this kind of stuff before the game.
Sometimes.
It's. I mean, I've seen them doing it.
it.
So
No, fair enough.
but I mean, you could have had like Hunter Pence and me play a Hearthstone game against each other, live in front of the audience.
Let's get
and
that
then,
going.
guys, you know.
We brought
Let's
a
make that
celebrity.
happen.
Yeah.
Willie Dills
Well,
with the Angry
not
Chicken.
just that, but I mean, just have Hunter Pence play a single game of Hearthstone against somebody.
Yeah.
And like be like,
And
I'm
have
going to
somebody-
build a
have
Giants
somebody
theme
commentating,
deck,
you
and then
know, or
I'm
something.
going to build the Dodgers deck, and then it's like all my guys are going to have stealth because we're dodging and whatever. Like you could have
San
done
Francisco
whatever.
Giants card backs.
Oh
Well,
my
no,
God,
but
whatever.
there's giants in the game. There's cards called Molten Giants and Mountain Giants. And
Oh, yeah.
Sea Giants. It's like, so I'm gonna make the Giants deck like that. You know, it would have been sweet. But anyway, it was fine. Just
There could have been more. And
Could have been more.
It could have
Remember we
been up
fed-
to a level that we've seen from the Giants in the past.
we
I think
fed
that's it.
Sprabian all those gold ideas when we had him on the show. Not a single one has been done yet.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
They
Where's
definitely
Cat
didn't-
Come on,
Days of
Spray, get on
October?
it.
I know.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
just what I was thinking.
All right, let's talk about the game because
About the
you know,
actual game.
yeah. So that was a good game. It was a
That was-
strange game.
Very
It was-
strange game.
It was a game that I definitely like. I felt like everything should be completely different, and then we hit the seventh inning, and I was like, "Oh, now it lines more or less up with what it felt like."
Well, okay, so we
although
know.
it felt like we should have been down by like a run by the time.
Oh,
we,
the way that Vogelsong started out, he was rocky as hell. He had 3 walks within the first 2 innings,
First 2 innings, yeah.
and he basically just looked like, I mean, he was pitching around everybody. It seemed like, and you know, if you're watching on TV, you can probably tell a little more than we can from press box. We can kind of get a sense, and we got the TVs there,
can't
but
really
sometimes
see his
we miss
face a
those
lot, or
pitches.
the little
We're watching the game,
the
yeah.
nonverbal stuff.
But it just felt to me like he was a little nibbly.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess maybe he was just missing, but it just
I
looked
mean,
like
it
he
was a little
he was
above.
nibbling.
Like he was getting a tight zone because he wasn't finding. He wasn't
Oh, yeah, you get a
establishing
tight
that he
zone when
had
you
it.
can't throw the.
Yeah, he wasn't establishing that he had the zone, so he was getting a tight zone. But also, just like there was a bunch of things that they would just kind of roll off to the outside a little bit.
Yeah, but here's the thing,
Keep in
though.
mind, I was in 315, so I was like dead behind home plate. So all I
Oh,
really
you're,
got
like,
was
right
side to
above us
side.
then, yeah.
I couldn't get up and down,
Yeah.
so I've got no height perception. From
So
up
it was
there.
an interesting one though because not only was Vogelsong struggling, but Colementer I felt like was also struggling. But neither one were giving up hits though.
It was the reverse though for me. I felt like.
But he only had 2
Vogelsong
walks, but he was
started
getting a lot of
stronger.
3-ball counts.
I feel
and
like
stuff.
Vogelsong started weaker than he ended. He ended
Yeah.
stronger.
Our second
Colemanter
half was
started
They moved the
stronger,
opposite direction.
And then,
Yeah.
So they both definitely hit trouble, but
Yeah.
Colemanter hit trouble later.
But Colementer didn't look sharp, I wouldn't say. Like he was
No, I mean,
kind of
we've
getting
seen
away with
Colemanter
stuff.
sharp.
You know.
In fairness,
Yeah.
I mean Colemanter sharp is really similar to like Brandon McCarthy off, but Colemanter has been sharper than he was today.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
got-
he's a middle of the road guy. He's,
yeah.
you know,
It's I mean, he's
we expect to win a game when you
he's
look
a
at
fourth,
it and you
fifth
say
starter kind of guy.
Vogelsong versus Coleman. You expect that the Giants have the upper hand in that game.
It's true, but Colemanter has
Didn't feel
surprised
that
us
way.
before, and like early Colemanter last year was a big deal, but he really has kind of regressed back a little bit. But Colemanter has that weird deceptive delivery though, the one it comes right overhead.
Yeah, he's 12'6". He's right over
Yeah,
the top.
and
He
I
doesn't
mean-
even look like
And he's
a
a big
pitcher.
guy too.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's-
so
The way that he
I feel
throws
he's
though, it's like
slinging the ball.
it's not just a 12-6 ball; it's a 12-6 delivery. It's so because it'll come over the top when he throws,
Yeah.
and it just doesn't. The ball just looks different when it's coming at you like that. It helps him, but it only helps him so much. Like if he can't also establish command and also establish movement, he becomes a one-trick pony. And you saw the Giants on the second time through the lineup actually go, okay, now I've had a chance to see this again. So I remember what this weird 12-6 thing is like. Why don't I try going opposite? And that was exactly what Pecan did to get the first hit of the game, is go the other way and just slapped it the direction that Colemanter gave him.
So after like 5 innings, I think it was like 2 or 3 hits total in the game, right?
It's 4 hits total.
4 hits total in the game.
Yeah, Giants had 3 and Diamondbacks had 1.
Yeah.
And then Vogie only gave up 2 hits through
2
his,
hits throughout, and
6
both to the same hitter too.
6
as well.
and 2
The
thirds.
entire Giants only gave up 2.
No.
no.
Vogie
It-
pitched 6 and 2 thirds. He only
Right.
gave up 2 hits.
Right.
But it was 5 walks
Actually,
total.
the entire Giants only gave up 2 hits.
Oh, because
Yeah.
okay.
It was a complete,
Right.
if
Nobody
you
else.
throw in everybody, because
You had
none of the
Machi,
bullpen guys gave up anything.
Then Affeldt for 1 and Romo for 1. and
Yeah.
that was
By
it.
the way, who
Right.
got the win?
So,
Who got the win? Who
well,
do you
Machi,
think got
right?
the win?
that would be.
It's gotta be. It's
Mean
Machi.
Gene
No,
Machi?
No, it's Machi.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was on the
Because he
mound
pitched
before
top of the
they-
seventh.
Because he
Yeah,
pitched that
he
one,
pitched
but
top
he
of the
only got
seventh.
1 out.
1 out.
Remember,
That's it, Machi,
This is
right?
Machi. This
Is
is
it
how he
7?
does it. He's
Or
7 and
8?
1.
Yeah,
so
7.
it's a good sign. We're getting back to the things we were doing at the beginning of the year,
Exactly.
like vulturing Machi wins.
We're talking about this on Monday. Machi with 5 wins by May 1st or
And
whatever.
then he sat there at like 6 wins for
How
like
sweet
most
would it
ever.
be? How sweet would it be though if right now like Machi had like 18 wins and Bumgarner had 17?
Sweet.
Machi just like vultures a bunch of wins over the course of the season, beats Kershaw out for the.
I got one out and the
Machi's
win.
got a
Mean
1.91 ERA.
Mean Gene Machi for the 50s style Cy Young.
He's gonna look like we should give him the MVP at the end of this year when you look at the stats.
Well, let's see if he gets one vote for the Cy Young out of all the riders. That'd be great.
Machi threw two
man.
pitches, one of them for a strike.
Were they Cy
Two
Young?
pitches.
Two pitches.
Were they
Two
Cy
pitches.
Young level pitches?
They were.
Two
They
pitches.
absolutely were.
For
He
the
did,
win.
he did induce a ground ball, so I'll give him
Bogey
that.
goes 102
It was not a
pitches.
pretty ground ball.
Doesn't get the win.
No.
Machi pitches
Yeah.
2.
Well, here's the
Pitches.
other thing though. Bogey threw
I'm
102.
way too
and
tired right now to have my pitcher win.
59 of them
See
were
what he did.
strikes. So
Yeah,
he was not in
struggled.
the zone.
He
Stars,
cleaned up a little later. It was even.
That was better later, yeah.
Well, 38 pitches in, he was 19 and 19, like 50%
Yeah.
strikes.
Yeah, I think
So,
he had
not even that
like
above.
36 to 37 in the first 2 innings. Like he was
Yeah.
really struggling.
It was
And
really like for every time he would get a strike, Although I will say, and credit to Hank Schulman for catching this one too. He cleaned up a ton when Lincecum came out and started
Oh,
warming
so
up.
this was actually so in the Bochy post-game conference, this was actually one of the questions that was asked, and
That was Hank
we had
that asked
we
that.
had actually
Was it
made
Hank?
notice
Yeah.
of this in the game too. Remember, because when he came out,
I remember thinking
I
that.
tweeted it out. I tweeted it, or no, I didn't tweet. I put it in. He was
Reddit?
tweeting and I was doing Reddit, and I said that was a sweet double move there by Bochy. Like, not only do you warm Lincecum up just in case, but you also fire up Vogie at the same
It's
time.
Vogie off.
He was walking back on the mound and he stopped and looked and was like, "Holy crap, Lincecum's like this is the
Already
second
pulling out,
inning."
Tim. This is the second
And,
inning.
yeah,
He's
and
like, oh
he-
no. And the
Yeah,
next pitch.
and he
strike.
he threw a strike and he got the next guy out, and and at that moment it was bases loaded, and he was.
Think so, yeah.
And he had a full count on the pitcher or something like that.
Yeah,
Or
no,
a
he
3-1
almost walked
count
a
on the
run in
pitcher.
on the pitcher.
He
Yeah.
almost walked Cole Mentor. Yeah, I remember
And
that.
so I mean,
Not pretty.
that was
That was right about when they brought Lincecum
like if
out,
he
and
falls
just
apart there,
right down the
maybe the whole game falls apart and the Giants never come back.
Absolutely.
But instead, he snaps back and he gets the pitcher out as
Yeah.
he's supposed to do, and we move on to win the game.
So Hank asked him, Bochy at the end of the game, and Bochy was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice that." I mean, he was playing
do you
coy.
think that?
Yeah.
He
No.
smiled. He smiled
Exactly.
and he kind of
He was
laughed.
playing
at us a
coy.
little bit, yeah.
He's a player's manager.
He
I mean,
knows what
it's
he's
not,
doing.
It's not just that he manages players well so they think that they're being helped.
Yeah.
He also thinks about how they think.
Yeah. I
And
fil like
so-
he smiled a little bit that
to let
we
us
caught
know.
on.
We
and
would have known anyway.
Yeah,
but-
like, oh, you got me. You see what I did there. And I think we know, like, we all know that Bochy makes moves and moves things around in such a way that psychologically helps his own team, like helps his players out a ton.
I mean, he's
He's
a
got a
real
knack
smart
for this
dude.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why he's got over 1,600 wins.
Yeah. By the way, they honored Bochy,
Hudson.
They honored Petit, Hudson, and Peavy
Peavy.
before the game for all the historical achievements, and then they said,
a very
and
milestone
Lincecum got that
medal.
no-hitter one time, but whatever.
yeah.
Well, that didn't happen last
It's not like a
homestand.
record or it's not a lifetime achievement.
No, but it was all those achievements happening. Yeah, within like a
It
1
was
week
interesting.
span.
Those all happened
It
at
was
the
pretty
same
crazy,
time.
yeah.
That was a lot of things to happen.
2,000 strikeouts for
Yeah.
the 2, the 46 in a row.
And they honored
1,600
Lincecum by
wins.
warming him up in the second inning.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, hey, we had a chance to- Now, if you had thrown a
Compare
no-hitter
you
last
about-
week, they
Yeah.
put a big 1 on the top part of the
Yeah,
mound.
well,
Yeah, just one baseball. There it is.
A baseball.
Yeah.
It was
If
nice
it's
though. It
Stand
was
over a baseball.
it was funny though because again, I feel like as I'm watching this stuff, maybe I'm being a little too critical, but I feel like they should have said Bochy's accomplishment at the end because Bochy's going to get the biggest ovation out of the three.
Yeah,
or
they did
four of
Petit
those.
at the
Doing Petit
They
at the
did.
end was a little weird.
And I understand
I
Petit's
admit.
was a major league record. That's a
It
big
is.
deal. It's a major league record.
Sure.
I think they should have gone from right to left there, and then at the end say, and Bochy, 'cause he's like 17th in all-time victories as a manager, which is it's like a huge deal. I mean,
Yeah,
But
I
he's
mean,
not
he's-
first in consecutive
And
outs.
he doesn't seem like he's anywhere near done either.
oh hell no! I mean, he
God,
could go
so
for
much.
another 15 years. Like he
I
could.
mean, I could, yeah. I mean, I can see him.
Look
doing
at guys
least,
like I mean, Connie Mack is the
5'10".
one,
It's
number
only
one
gonna-
guy,
right,
right?
yeah.
And he managed well into his late years. Like
Yeah.
he just was like, I'm still going, man. What's up?
Yeah, I mean,
His overall record is under 500. He's got
you-
the most wins by like a lot.
you take Bochy's career and you stretch it out to the length of like Lou Piniella.
Yeah. Well, and
But with the team that
Bochy
wins?
started at a fairly young age for a manager. I think though there is a difference between because you look at the top 20. There's a lot of these real old timers in there.
Yeah.
These guys who were like player managers and stuff
Right,
like
so
that.
they were
Like,
managing while they were
they
playing.
were
They
still the
started
shortstop,
early
and
as
they were
well.
like, like, hey, but you also manage. Like, it's
So like, yeah, you finish, you catch, you throw the guy out, you throw the ball around the horn, and you point at somebody.
you're like
and say,
standing at
"Get in
second,
for
and you're
you."
like, hey, pinch hitting, get up there.
So you're
Yeah,
saying that
strange.
you're
We
like,
don't see that anymore.
you're
I mean,
throwing
we've
some-
seen
I
that
think
for
Pete
20
Rose
years.
was like the last guy.
yeah,
to do
because
it.
it's so much harder to do.
Who
now,
was
the
the
way that
actual last guy? Does anybody know? Eric Nathanson, where are you? Where are you?
It
You
might
know.
be Pete Rose when he was.
He's the last
with
guy
the
I
Phillies
remember because
or
I actually
whatever.
had a baseball card of his that said like first base manager
Slash manager.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because Rose was way after Berra.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I mean, Berra is one of the best known current ones. Or like, wasn't Nap LaJoy the player manager for a little bit?
I
at
don't
one
know.
Point, I think.
I feel like he could have been.
back when Cleveland was the Cleveland Naps named after him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was just a different. It was a different like.
It was a
and
different
also,
era. The
like, you
game
think
was
about like
different,
Connie Mack
you know,
was like a
defensive shifts
like a
and,
shitty
like-
baseball player, who then started managing like almost immediately. Like
Yeah.
he started managing when he was like super young because he was like, hey yo, I suck
He didn't
at
make
this.
it. Yeah.
I
as a
suck
player.
at this playing
I'm
thing.
terrible at actually hitting the ball, but you tell
But
me
I
what
really
I'll
like
tell
to
these guys what
talk
to do,
about
and
it
it'll
and
be
figure
great.
it out. Yeah. But you know what's funny is I looked at that after Bochy hit 1600 and it was kind of in the conversation of who's the all-time guy and where's Bochy measure up against these guys. And I looked at it and you got Connie Mack with like a sub 500 record, and then second is McGraw with like an almost 600 record over his career as a manager.
That's insane.
Jeez.
Crazy to think like you,
But you know, that's
as a manager that for that long, you got to
McGraw
have
is a
bad
huge-
teams in there.
John McGraw is a huge part of why the Giants are one of the winningest
Oh
teams.
no,
and, you
that
know,
he's like the number one reason why, like his second
Yeah, I
most
mean,
wins for a manager.
yeah.
Like,
It's
who
really, you
else
know,
had
I mean-
more to do with that than him?
I
Nobody.
mean,
you know?
not more to do with it. Like if you get like Roger Craig, it certainly had an impact. Bochy's
Roger
had
Craig
an
had
impact.
quite a
But, man,
lot,
McGraw, like
Felipe Alou, absolutely.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Well, Dusty Baker
I like
had
that
a
pause.
lot. Though.
That was
Dusty
awesome.
Baker had quite a few
No,
as a
the
Giants
freeze up
manager.
and stare was great. That worked out perfectly.
No, it was definitely.
I'm really upset at you. What?
Oh, right.
I mean, you can give a lot. You
man.
can give a lot of credit to Tom
Felipe
Lasorda
Alou
as
and-
well. While we're at it,
Well, you know, he did. He passed Lasorda on his 1600th win because Lasorda stopped with 1599.
really.
Ah, that's right. That was when he hit 1599. That was sweet, and when he hit 1600, it was much
Then
sweeter.
he started doing
Everyone
Slim
was talking about
Fast
that.
commercials. He was done with managing. It was time for
Well,
Slim Fast.
now the question is,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
if we were to count each Slim Fast commercial as a win? How
Oh.
far behind
Oh,
is, how
he's
far
got-
behind
he's
is
got
Bochy
Bochy.
now?
the ones that
he's got
aired.
Bochy.
Yeah.
Are we counting the ones
He's
on the
all
cutting
time,
room floor?
all time Slim Fast leader
Yeah.
of the world. All right, so this
What happens
game,
when all three of us are here? So-
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll have another round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
do a
sad right now.
Lagunitas, please.
Uy, la calita.
Yes. Let me give you that one. Thank you.
What's that?
That's
a recorder.
We're recording
You're being
right now.
recorded right
You're on
now.
our podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, our
Wait,
new,
wait,
our new fourth chatter.
Say hi.
Hi, how are you?
Special guest. But so the game really did I think kind of turn on the second inning, getting out of that jam, and then basically buckling down, and at one point getting 9 batters in a row out. I think 9 or 10.
He had 8 in a row, but he had.
I think he got to the 9th one. Let me
When
double
he
check.
gets to the 9th one, then the next inning, he might
No,
have.
I think it
Sounds
starts
right,
here.
but
So
I don't
here's 1,
remember.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the double.
Okay, so it was
So he got to
9 and then the double.
And then he gave the double.
And that was
yeah.
only the second hit of the game.
And then
Yeah.
the double and then the walk, and that was it for him.
And all 3 Ks happened in 1 inning, correct?
And the fifth.
Yeah, he
Three
struck out
straight.
the side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 straight in the fifth.
But
that was interesting.
once he gave it the double, and then
That was
Chad
when he knew
actually
he was
turned to
really
me
good.
and said, you know, this is probably his last bat. Like he can come out now.
Oh, he was at 98
And-
pitches or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
and then you get the next
Yeah.
guy on the fly ball to left, and then walks the next guy. And Bochy actually did the run to the mound, which he only really does when
Yeah.
he's not going to necessarily take the guy out.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
he
yeah.
jogged
He
down
wanted
the
to
field.
talk to
Jog.
him. He
Yeah,
wanted to talk
because he
to
wants to
him.
give himself a little more time before the
Yeah,
manager
because you saw
walks out.
he didn't call for the righty.
Yeah,
called
no,
for
he got
Machi
out there. He
until-
looked. I think he just wanted to see like is Vogie like mad Vogie or bad Vogie, where,
Bad,
yeah,
good bet.
where he doesn't like he pitches mad, not like
Right.
like I don't know. There's like a
But
difference between like
He's like
losing his
pitching.
cool
He's
and
pitching
then-
frustrated instead of
Yeah,
mad.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's like don't pitch angry. You
Like
know,
there's
little
intense
Groundhog Day.
there's
you know?
intense Vogie and then there's upset Vogie.
Sure,
Like
sure.
and when if his
you
control
want
is gonna start
intensity,
fading
but you
like
don't
that,
want him being mad and frustrated with himself.
Yeah, no, I get that, and we've seen both. I mean, we've also seen both with PV, which is really entertaining.
No, Bochy did a great job
Those
because
guys are
whatever
fun to
he
watch.
heard or read from.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made the right call.
Yeah, he made the right
Machi.
call.
And why not bring in Machi at that point? Even if, like, the only way you don't necessarily.
You're just trying to give Machi a chance to earn a win.
Yeah. But the fact is
That's
that
exactly what Bochy was
you know,
doing. He's like,
we're-
I know we're going to score 4 next
we
inning, so
come up-
Machi, throw 2.
we're
Get
coming
your
off of
W.
a day off on Monday, right?
Right.
So
And we had a day off
Bullpen's
not long
rested.
before the
Last Thursday.
before the
bullpen's
Detroit
plenty
game as
rested.
well.
The starting rotation has been like
Bullpen
lights
is
out for
totally
such a long
rested
time.
right
We've
now.
barely
We don't have
needed
to
the
worry
bullpen
about it.
in like 2 weeks for much.
Well, and with the expanded roster, they have a couple extra arms. I mean,
Yeah.
there's,
Right, I mean,
there's
with-
no
I mean, and
issue.
we've been using them. Strickland, Cordier, they've
Cordier,
been
yeah.
great.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cordier kid, by the way.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he's pretty exciting, right?
Hit 101 on his first major league inning. I mean,
And lots of
Appearance.
101.
well, no, it was 101, but
he
a
went like
bunch of like
101.
99, 100. Like
It was the story that John Miller told was hit 101 and then he hit 100 and then he hit 99. We're like, oh, he's got a changeup.
That'll fool
Hearing
him.
about that. Change in speed. It's a little
Oh,
different.
that was too slow. He got me. Yeah.
But
Really
no,
thought
but
that was
he's
gonna come in
he's
at
definitely
101
got to
there.
be a little bit exciting. Yeah, Strickland has been. I mean, and
Strickland has looked
Bochy
great.
talked about
Strickland's, you know,
this.
throwing 98, 99 as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
High
speed,
90s.
These guys are
kind
coming
of
out
speed we
throwing heat.
haven't had out of the bullpen in ages.
It's like the Cardinals bullpen.
I mean,
all these
him,
young
you
guys
know,
coming up.
Yeah, I mean, oh
But
yeah.
Casilla was like our
Like
flamethrower.
Rosenthal,
Yeah.
those guys.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I guess
But-
Gutierrez was our flamethrower, really, like this season. But he's
Yeah,
Don't.
and he
Long
was the
gone, so
flamethrower at
don't.
96.
I
You know?
don't.
yeah, huh?
I don't.
I just
don't.
can't.
I don't.
Yeah.
I can't.
But he was our flamethrower.
Gutierrez is a
Like,
flamethrower. Just does not compute in my head.
well,
I know,
Casillas,
I know.
I mean,
Wow,
he throws
but
95,
it's all
96.
relative.
That tells you something, though. It's true. And Casilla,
Like
well,
we
yeah.
don't we haven't had the
Casillas is
99,
close to
100
touch it.
guy in a long time.
Yeah.
Not well, I mean, not since Wilson, pretty much.
Yeah, and even Wilson though he was like 98,
started there
99
and then
at
he ticked
first,
down,
and
just
when he
faded.
had like when we won the World Series, he was throwing the cutter at like 94. That was his deal. So yeah, he was a different pitcher
Enough
at
to get
that
by
point.
if you can do it, but
Well, I think at that point his arm was already hurting. And,
Oh, yeah,
but
I
also
mean,
he
won't
had that
do that.
thing. It was like it was the thing that worked. He didn't need to do anything else.
Nope.
right.
Like I throw this cutter over and over and over again, and you can
It
never
worked.
hit it.
He figures it worked for Mariano Rivera.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, Mario Rivera made a career out of that
one cutter.
Yeah.
But with that said, I mean, the guys that we've had, even the most exciting prospects that we brought up in through the bullpen, like Kickham was loosely exciting for about 10 minutes, or Heath Hembry before we traded him. None of them had really that kind of velocity,
velocity,
like
yeah.
this kind of stuff.
They didn't touch 100.
But that's the thing
often.
too is Strickland and Cordier. Well, okay, Cordier was a little amped up his first one. Strickland generally makes it look pretty good too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what surprised. Like Strickland is.
He seems to throw with location.
Strickland looks like he's pretty much major league ready at this point.
Yeah,
to be
but
honest.
I mean, you know, there's no reason to push him at this
No,
point.
no, you don't-
Our
you don't
bullpen
force
is
the
fairly
issue.
short up right now. Like it's
right.
It's
You've got
actually
good guys
when
on
you
the
think
team,
about
there's
it.
no reason to force the issue, but it's interesting
Yeah.
to see some kind of bullpen depth. in the
Today's
org.
game was a good example of what our bullpen is actually capable of because basically without our closer, we were able to do starter into Machi, into Affeldt, into Romo, and then you think after that could potentially be Casilla if you need him. Like
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there's plenty more guys.
Yeah, if it was a 3-0 game, you would have seen
You would have
Casilla
seen
instead of
Casilla
Romo.
instead of Romo,
And
yeah.
that would have been the only difference.
Or you would have seen Romo instead of Affeldt too. Like that's the thing. Is like you could have seen it all could have been reordered basically. It was kind of fun seeing Romo come in though. El Machon played and
In the
you know, he got the
ninth,
27th out and it was
Yeah.
It was
fun.
a nice harkening back.
Yeah, it felt good.
Could have had 3 Ks there because that one check swing
actually,
we
the
saw
check
on the
swing
replay.
on the replay
it
was a
was
swing.
definitely
Oh,
a
was it?
swing.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. It's all
You know,
good.
just struck out the side.
Not Pacheco.
Set himself up, but you know what it sets him up? It sets the bullpen up for is if a closer by committee type of situation needs to happen because one guy gets too much work or whatever.
We've
You
got a
don't
bunch of
feel
guys
bad
that
going
can-
to Romo again. Like he's fine again. Like
Yeah.
he had that like really severe
He had a bad stretch.
bump, and now he's old school Romo
Seems to
again. He's
be
got the
doing fine. I like
no
the-
dot slider working.
Well, and it's almost like with either the pressure or workload or just some time to rest
Yeah.
or
Well, the
getting his
last
head around
time he
whatever.
actually really blew up was Colorado, right? Where he just sucks in Colorado. Like because his slider doesn't really work in Colorado.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
mean,
gave
unless
up.
you count the one, the Detroit outing with
Miguel Cabrera.
Oh, but that
that's
didn't
Miguel
hurt
Cabrera.
us. First of all,
It was
didn't
a
hurt us.
two-run
We won
lead.
the
It was-
game.
well, you mean if
Yeah.
you mean like a high leverage blow up, then
Yeah, it was
then,
the Colorado one where it was like it made us lose a game.
Yeah.
But I figured like the Cabrera one, I figure almost was like that was like his payback. He's too good of a hitter not to pay you back after.
Oh, yeah.
he stands there and watches strike 3 go by.
Yeah, like everyone said,
Yeah,
2 years too late.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
it's
no, I
fine.
mean, I can't be upset about Miguel Cabrera. hitting a
No.
home run off
The
of-
dude hit like 4 or 5 home runs
Yeah,
that
Cabrera
series. He was
really-
on fire.
he's
He was
insane.
AL Player of the Week that week.
Yeah, I think he hit over 500 against us that series.
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever.
he just,
And we won the series, so what's up?
Yeah. So didn't
So
matter.
in your face.
Didn't matter.
AL player of
you
the
know,
week.
Inconsequential home runs. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
You know, I mean, we were only 3 games out of that week. I'll grant him that. But the Royals also just beat Detroit again
Yeah.
today. So
Yeah, they did.
I want to talk real briefly though about how we actually finally did get full clubhouse access
Yes.
today, and Chad here took full advantage. I unfortunately could not get off work until about 4 o'clock, so I didn't get down to the ballpark until about 4:40ish or so. And then they didn't have my pass, so I had to call Matt Chisholm, and he
And perform
was very,
something.
He was very some favors.
No, yeah.
But he was very no. He was immediately like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry, really? Okay, I'll have one sent down right now."
Yeah.
And immediately there was one there. Like I waited outside for like 30 seconds.
They're
the guys
just-
that were inside were weird though. They were like, "You have to stand outside," and I was like, like I guarantee I always have a pass. Like I'm not here to do anything weird.
Yeah, you're wearing a wife
You know.
beater and an ascot. They're like, get the fuck out of here, man.
Who is
They're
this
not.
guy? He's clearly not impressed.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to need you to leave.
No,
but
but
it was. I mean, it was an awkward moment because the guys weren't being very chill about it.
30
and-
seconds later,
Yeah.
you can come back.
Exactly, and then here's a pass getting run down to me, so it's fine.
yeah.
But
the Giants are class.
it was
They're
awesome.
good.
That it was not a big deal. It was taken care of. But but Chad was, and I was hoping to initially get here at about 3 o'clock or so.
Yeah, they opened up the clubhouse doors at about 3:45. So I got here about 3:15 or so.
Sounds like you had a couple of very interesting experiences going on there, which just about
Yeah.
everybody had the opportunity to see ahead of time.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
got them posted up, which is great. And those are still posted if you want to take a look. I think they'll be
Well,
posted.
we've already posted today 3 mini episodes, which are 3 short interviews Chad was able to get. We got 100 Pence.
Yep.
We got
Pablo Sandoval.
Pablo Sandoval.
Pablo Sandoval, and we got Jeremy Affeldt.
And Jeremy Affeldt, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And then I think we're going to tag the end of this episode with
Matt Duffy.
Matt Duffy,
we got Matt
which
Duffy.
we got post game today, which was actually everyone surrounded Blanco. I felt like Blanco's hit gave us the 1-run lead, which
Sure.
was all we ended up needing.
It was very important.
However,
Yeah, it was a game-winning
I feel
RBI,
like the
technically.
Duffy hit was actually the hit that made it like we,
It was the one
won
that-
the game. Like now we just won the game.
Nail in the
Duffy's
coffin.
was
yeah.
the hit that really took the wind out of the D-back
Yeah,
sales.
it ended the game essentially because the way runs were at this point in this
and-
game, in this atmosphere, in this weather, whatever
Sure.
it was just hard to score tonight.
Yeah.
And that
I mean, it
that
was
hit
it was
like
it was
boom, we're
thick
good.
tonight. You know, there was the fog was getting pretty pea soupy almost.
Yeah.
Although it was
Well, you saw
high up.
Pablo's. I thought
Oh.
he got all of that.
I thought it was
and
gone.
that was a double.
I mean,
Yeah.
Buster got into a couple here and there
Yeah,
too.
they're
and
just
really
long fly balls. Yeah.
Somebody hit one like warning track center field. Pence, I think. Got a real boomer.
Yeah, I think Pence hit no. Well, okay, so there was Panic's home run. There wasn't a home run. There was
Panic's
foul
foul ball.
ball.
Yeah, Panic had a foul splash hit by, 2 feet?
It was like a
But, man,
Bonds splash
that-
hit. It was like
That
Oh, it
was
was
deep
way,
into the
I mean,
cove.
way in
Yeah.
the cove. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't scrape the pavilion. No.
It
It
was
was.
way into
there was
the
no
cove.
Way
bouncing
out.
on the way down. Just
And then of course he ended up striking.
that got out in a hurry too.
Yeah.
To the
Yeah,
right.
I did not expect that much pop from that kid. He's not a big guy.
He's had one home
Holy
run, but
crap.
it was on the road, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
But
so-
he hit the crap out of that one.
I almost got Panic in the
maybe got
clubhouse
that wrong.
before the game, but
Yeah.
so once I went down there, I actually got a chance to talk to Marty Lurie about what the hell am I doing down there, and he gave me some pointers. And Joe Castellano, very gracious, what have you. So getting into the clubhouse, though, first of all,
Like, hey, just don't eat the deli spread. And don't
pretty
be an
much,
asshole.
yeah.
Just
And,
be cool, man. It's fine.
Don't
Be
ever
cool,
ta-
man. Be
don't
cool,
talk
man.
to Vogelsong before a start.
But when I did get down there and into the clubhouse, there were about 6 or 7 reporters, and it was the funniest thing. And it was like this after the game too. I think you'll attest to this, Willie. Even though it was more reporters, it was like a junior high dance because we had about 4, 5, 6, 7 reporters. Exactly, they were all crowded around together around the LCD with.
Here's the thing: they all know each other,
Yeah.
but they don't know the players that well.
And so there were all these players.
You
Well,
feel
not all these
comfortable
players. There was
around the
about
other
15
reporters.
players in the
Yeah.
clubhouse at the time. And it was kind of like, so can I go ask someone a question? So Joe was there and was like, is it anyone free game? He's like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, well, why aren't you? Like, you go first. And he's like, oh, well, I'm setting up my stuff here. And like,
Yeah.
this dude, posts like 4 interviews a day.
Yeah.
With the Giants. So he's a seasoned veteran, former
he's
ex
not giving-
MLB
just
host.
jumping
in.
He's got Jeremy Affeldt as a regular,
Right.
guest and all that stuff like that. So first went up to Hunter Pence, and he was just over in the corner on his iPad mini, and because it was Gamers Night, this was a night that, so obviously hoping Willie was going to be there as well.
Yeah,
to
I
talk
wanted to get a chance to
gamer
talk
with,
to him,
with
yeah.
Hunter. And I went up to him and said, hey, do you have a few minutes? And he's like, no, not right now, come back later. And I looked down, and he was actually playing Hearthstone on his iPad mini at that moment. And I'm like, oh, you got a game going? And he's like, yeah, come back later. And he just kind of brushed me away. And so I was like, no problem, come back
When
later.
you're playing Hearthstone, you gotta concentrate.
Oh man, I've watched over enough shoulders. That game is hard.
Oh, no, it's a hard game. So went
pass,
over,
thanks.
Pablo was just chilling in his chair, reading his phone, and he looked really sleepy, but went up to him, asked him if he had a few minutes, and I know this is not an audio or a video podcast, but he kind of put his phone down, rubbed his eyes, rubbed his head, leaned back, and I was like, oh shit, here it comes, like, get the hell out of here. And he's like, yeah, okay. I was kind of like, oh, sorry, I'll leave if, you don't want me. No, it's not you, it's me, I'm tired. It's kind of one of those things. But actually, it was a great interview. It was fun talking to him about his 3 home run game. I asked him if that was the best moment of his career. He said absolutely. Wrapped it up with, have you ever had kale? And no, he's never had kale. He is not a fan of kale, even though he hasn't had it.
Look,
it's
kale is
exactly
just-
like my children.
Kale is just one method.
Try
to power.
Try this, honey. No, I don't like it. Well, you've never had it. How do you know if you don't like it if you don't have it? So I want to do that with Pablo next
I
time.
just know. Right,
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
show
yeah.
up with a thing of kale, and Hunter is just like looking over your shoulder the whole time.
So-
Like, what is he doing?
That was
Nothing.
great. So I went back to Hunter, and he was totally gracious. He's like, "Oh, I was waiting for you." And so I did ask him some kind
Gamer
of
questions.
cross-world gamer baseball questions. You can
Gonna say,
listen
didn't
to the interview. You'll hear it for yourself. It's right there on the audio. The first question I asked him, Hunter literally said, that's a weird question. I don't know how to answer that. What do you
Solid.
do at that point?
You kind of go.
You just kind of
All
go,
right.
yeah, I suck. But no, it actually ended up being a fine interview. And afterwards, he was totally stoked because he told me, and this is all off the record, of course. He said, or off the recording.
The recording, right?
He said, "Oh,
It's
no
like,
one
it's
ever
off the
talks to
record,
me
don't
about
say it
yeah,
right
not
now,
off the
right?
record, off the recording." He said, "No one ever talks to me about gaming." He's like, "This is great, man." So I proceeded to talk to him
I
about.
was going to say every time we show up,
Yeah.
we do because
Right.
that's
You wouldn't
can't
get
help
that
it.
from the actual interview itself because it wasn't about baseball until the end. And then Jeremy Affeldt had a few minutes, and he is a great interview. He is
Oh man,
just.
Affeldt is such a good speaker in general.
He's very articulate and cerebral, and even though it was right at the end, I was the last guy in the clubhouse. The Giants executive or player personnel manager was hovering over me and kind of was like, "Yeah, you need to go." After I finished up, and I realized I was literally the last person in there.
You're like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah, sorry about that. But as far as first experience in the clubhouse, it was pretty amazing, and so check it out. I posted all 3 interviews on TortureCast.com.
You're
so.
normally not going to do a full interview in the clubhouse, like that's
No,
not
each one
what
is
I
3 to
usually
6
look at.
minutes in that range.
Yeah,
That's
but I'm
kind of
just,
normal.
that's not like normally you wouldn't expect to get like a full one out of there. But what you got, is, that's totally reasonable for a clubhouse. But I can totally see how you'd end up being the last one there. Like people are going in there for sound bites most of the time.
Yeah.
And that's what most of the players
Well,
are
and you're
expecting.
also
There weren't that
just
many
going
guys
but you're also going there for the first time ever. Like you don't know necessarily
Oh yeah, yeah.
when it's the right time to
No, I just think
yeah.
that it's really funny.
I'm like,
Because,
fat kid first time at a buffet. I'm just like,
Yeah,
shit,
hey,
man,
let's
this
go
is.
for this. Yeah.
And all the other
Yeah.
fat kids are like, dude, I've been here so many times, I'm sick of it. So, no, it was great. It was great. And then after the game, as you mentioned, we went down. That was Willie's first time in the clubhouse. A little weird, strange, because now everybody's in towels and hanging out.
Post game.
Smell a lot of Pert Plus and other,
It's post game.
Yeah, it's post game, and I saw some images I don't care to repeat on the podcast, but it's post game, so it's just something I wasn't prepared for. But anyway, everyone did.
It's post game to refer to a lot of really
It's
uncomfortable
post-game.
situations. Now hey, did you hear about it's post game?
It's post game. So, like you said, Willie, everybody crowded around Blanco, and Willie and I were kind of in the background going, "Well, we're not going to get shit from this."
No.
And we
Yeah,
talked
it
about
was insane,
Sure.
getting
yeah.
Romo, and he was over in the
But
corner.
Romo was talking to somebody. I don't know who it was.
like a
but
friend
they
or
seemed like they were
something.
just chatting. So, yeah. But it would have been interesting to talk to him.
But I did say on the way down, I was like, we got to get a soundbite from Duffy because I'm
Yeah.
really curious
Yeah, because,
as to
we
whether
were
that was a
thinking
straight
about
bunt
when it
or
is at bats.
a
The
safety squeeze.
whether it was put on or
Yeah.
whether it was And I mean, I agree too, though. I like with what Willie said. I think Duffy's hit really it took the wind out of the D-back sails, and there was something about that hit that felt different. I don't know if it's because I like Matt Duffy.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's any danger of replacing any of the current starters at this point by a long shot. I think if anything, we're probably looking at like AAA next year. Especially if the rumored AAA changes potentially happen and he ends up in Sacramento. He's an easy range. It's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
If they need him. I mean, but the thing is, Duffy is like that situation is one of the prospects, one of the younger players, contributing to a team that's in the middle of a pennant race, and that's something that like when you see good teams firing on all cylinders, stuff like that happens. Stuff like Matt Duffy hitting a double and then advancing to third and then getting a run home on a sac fly. You don't see that on a team that's scuffling. This is one of those situations where you're getting contributions from guys up and down the lineup, up and down the bench. You didn't see the lineup change at all tonight, but we got a couple of pinch hitters, especially Duffy was the main one. Yeah. And just getting that opportunity to see him go in there and then contribute, it felt different from the other hits because the other guys in the lineup, we saw them up and down in the lineup the entire night. Duffy came in, had one shot, is a young kid, still has some things to prove, and did it. Went out there, did it, got that crucial hit, really drove the nail through, and then just kind of like put the game away by making it all the way around. It's when the prospects start doing stuff like that, I think it feels different. And I'm not talking about prospects like Jorge Soler. I'm talking about prospects like Matt Duffy.
Yeah.
Completely
different level.
Yeah, he's not a fringe prospect, but he's not a
but he's not.
prospect.
He was in Double A.
Who came
He's
up
not a
and
Baez
we were,
or a Soler.
Waiting for him. He was going to be here any moment, and he was going to be the second baseman of the future.
Yeah, he's not a Buster Posey.
Yeah.
But
there's no way he expected to be called up to the show this year. Anytime this year, and probably not even next year.
Yeah.
I
mean,
so this is like all great.
He's got probably a lot of weight to put on at some point in his career to be. I mean, he's a small guy. He's smaller than both of us. We were standing there talking to him, and he's like just normal size. He looks super like a kid. Like he just.
I mean, Buster Posey has a baby face. Matt Duffy has got him.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
He is a baby.
But he's got baby everything. Like
baby everything. Yeah. He's like about $160 if he's lucky.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's all bay, every bay?
So.
Yeah.
No, but so all the reporters crowded around Blanco,
right.
and then we had mentioned Duffy before, and sure enough, we turn around and I was like, "Hey Willie, that's
Matt
Duffy." Wait, nameplate says Matt Duffy. That's Duffy. That's Matt. Let's go. And so we
Yeah.
walked right over, and no one was there.
I'm going to take 5 minutes to make sure that this is Matt Duffy before I actually walk over.
He's
and
like, "No, I'm Joe Panic." Sorry,
Well, somebody else came over. I don't know who that guy was, but he came over. Like once we went over, somebody to I'm not sure if he was on his way over there anyway, or if it was one of those like, "Oh, they're going over, I'll go too."
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we all went over together at the same time at that point, and got a chance to talk to him for a little bit, and he was cool. It was good conversation. It didn't seem like he was giving like the answers I'm supposed to give. He was just like trying to
give
tell us
answers.
how it all really,
Yeah, we asked him about not only was that a safety squeeze or straight bunt, and he said it was safety squeeze 2 times, and then it was called off after the 2-0 pitch.
Which made sense.
Yeah, and that makes sense. They were both curveballs. The hit was a fastball that he pulled down the line.
Yeah, I mean, and he was starting getting more hitters pitches after. I mean, because there was just no command on the guy.
And then it
any
was
of the D-backs bullpen, interestingly.
Kind of questions of like, look, you get your starter in Double A, you get 20, 30 pitches a week, and now you're getting, or 20, 30 at-bats a week, now you're getting 2 at-bats a week. How hard is that adjustment to make? And it's the major leagues. I mean, how do you stay ready? And so he was very forthcoming about it. He realized this is like the only chance he has. He's trying to prepare as much as he can. It's really hard to do
as much
so.
as you can while you're here,
Yeah.
But actually, we're going to put this
impression.
actual interview we got at the end of this episode, so you guys will be able to to hear it. And it was nice. It was cool getting to hear from him. And I really did think that even though everyone surrounded Blanco, and he got 2 hits and a stolen base tonight. He had a great game.
Duffy had a really good contribution as a pincher.
That hit was huge.
Yeah.
And he had a huge impact on this game, so it was really cool.
And it was really cool to hear his opinion about Joe Panic and Buster Posey. He had nothing but, incredible things to say about Joe Panic, saying, look, him and I are in the same position. Like, we're from the same level.
Right.
But, the way he's carrying himself is like a veteran. I mean,
Yeah.
he's in awe of him. And then he talks about Buster Posey.
Yeah,
He's like,
now like that's like
he's
the
like
guy.
he said he seems to know what pitch is coming, and he is so calm, and he seems to be able to control everything.
He's like the Yoda of baseball. He's got it. He's got it figured out, man.
And it's really cool to see another major leaguer.
Fastball you will throw.
Granted, a new major leaguer just be in awe of another one. It's pretty cool.
And I mean, and there are guys that I'm sure that Posey had a similar look at when he was younger. Although
Sure.
at this point, I think he's probably grown enough to kind of like.
But he's the man now.
Yeah.
He's the man now.
He's
dog.
the man now, dog.
Yeah.
But I have something for you guys actually. So from what you saw today, obviously we saw an Arizona team that's been limping along. Is maybe a good word. It's been rough for Arizona. But
They did not play good ball tonight.
They did not. They started out playing okay ball, and then they quickly degraded into, "We're really sorry that we showed up." Obviously, playing against the D-backs is going to be a pretty different feeling than playing against the Dodgers. This is pretty nice for us, but I mean, this is watching a team that has bullpen implosions. Like the discipline of our guys was at least okay plus today because there was no control on the D-back side whatsoever.
But I think you can say right now that coming down the stretch, even though we haven't gained much ground since getting it to 2 is the closest we've gotten, even though we haven't gained much ground since that time, you can definitely look at how the Dodgers have been playing and how we've been playing. You can say the Giants look like more of the poised team at this point. Dodgers look like the team that is holding on and
taking advantage of mistakes.
About to blow up potentially at any moment. The Giants don't look like that team anymore.
Right. The thing with the Dodgers though is if they do, they could blow up in either direction because
sure. Oh,
guys
absolutely.
that can
there's
do
so
well.
much talent on that team. It's
right. But
ridiculous.
conversely, I think Puig's OPS in the last month plus is 220.
Yeah, not good at all.
Or something. I mean, they don't look like they've got it together, but they haven't pulled an A's yet.
Sure.
So I know I feel really bad about that because I like the A's. We've talked about this, but
Willie doesn't.
That's okay. The A's are. There's nosedive and there's free fall, and they can't decide
the A's
which
are.
one they're
The A's are basically doing what the
fall,
Giants did, but we did it.
We did it at the beginning.
on,
That's pretty much what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Is the A's are doing the thing the Giants
time
did,
of
but
the
they're doing
season,
it later,
yeah.
so people notice it more.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because when we do it in the middle of the season, it doesn't look like choking. But
Well, everybody noticed
it's
it.
not. It's the same.
I mean,
thing
it was very
besides.
noticeable when the Giants did it.
Oh, it was very noticeable.
Yeah, the
It
A's
was
still
going
have a
from
better
the
record
best-
than the Giants,
It was
but
going from
is
the
true.
best
The
team
A's-
in baseball to the worst team in baseball in a matter of moments, and
Yeah.
the A's
Yeah.
basically did the same shit.
yeah.
However, they're in the division with the other best team in baseball, and then
The
they
best
did
team in
this.
baseball.
Right,
Yeah.
and with one of the surprising and upcoming best teams in baseball.
And the other thing that's
too.
weird
Yeah.
about the A's
So,
situation is they made all those moves, and nobody else, made they made
there
the
weren't
most
moves
moves.
like them, right?
Like they made the what everyone thought was these were the moves that were going to get them over the top.
For sure.
And
I mean,
they have
Samardzija
not worked out that way.
And,
No, their
Yeah.
pitching hasn't been as good as expected, and their offense has
You had
plummeted.
two,
They got rid
like,
of Cespedes, and then
top-tier
their offense
pitchers.
just
getting
went.
rid of
That was it.
Cespedes hurt, but
Yeah.
Two top tier pitchers to your
And,
team, and then you trade
lost
Cespedes,
one, and you
then
started losing.
yeah.
Like Doolittle was lost to injury,
Yeah.
and
It's all
Hamill
crazy,
just kind
yeah.
of bombed out and went back to being Jason Hamill again.
Yeah.
And,
I can't say that I feel really bad about things for them, but
But anyway, I mean, but
But
with
anyway.
that said, so
Yeah.
obviously we've got the Dodgers are coming up. That's.
I mean, it all
feels
hinges on
pretty
that.
soon.
No matter
It's-
how
yeah.
we're doing and we're gaining
Dodgers have
ground
a
or we're
chance to
losing
try
or
and-
whatever.
Yeah.
I
all
asked
hinges on
all
that.
3 players before the game the standard question. I know you guys are professionals. Do you look at this game any differently than the upcoming Dodgers series? And you got
Nope.
the company line.
Nope.
You got the company line.
Nope.
Tonight is tonight's game.
Yep.
This is the game we have to concentrate on. It still counts as one game, just like the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I don't even look at the Dodgers right now. I mean, I expected that answer.
Sure.
But no, but
I've heard it on
honestly,
TV
I
a
know
million
that they-
times.
I know that they're
but I
paying
had to
attention.
ask it. I had to ask it
I'm
just
sure
in
they're paying
case someone
And I
attention.
know
said
they're paying
something
attention,
different.
but I gotta say,
It's
I
because,
honestly
like,
believe
pregame,
that
though,
that's
you
how
have
it
to.
is.
The pregame, you have to do that.
You have to.
Yeah.
Right? Because if
Like-
you lose
'Cause
focus,
if you lose
you'll
focus on
lose.
tonight's
Yeah.
game,
Yeah,
you're not gonna lose the
I
game.
mean, because look at if they go in and they lose 3 games to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
and
Then you go to the Dodgers going, oh shit.
And the Dodgers, of course, don't lose. They're not going to lose games to Arizona. Come on. And you go in. You have to keep the team level because if you don't, the NL West right now is pretty much the Dodgers and the Giants attempting to see how many inferior opponents they can beat on in an attempt to get to each other. At this point, And the Padres will surprise you sometimes. The Rockies will surprise the Giants sometimes because they're the Rockies. But we're done with them.
Not the
so it's
Dodgers.
okay.
Yeah, we're done with them.
The D-backs are just terrible this year. And so, if the D-backs are going to roll over for both teams, that runs about even. But it's if you lose focus for 1 second, if you lose a game 2 with the D-backs,
yeah,
you're now a game
Oh
back.
yeah,
on
no,
what you're trying to,
absolutely. We have to beat up on the D-backs, and
Yeah,
I think
but you have- so they have to
tomorrow's game
focus
is
on
a
it
big
one at a
game.
time.
Tomorrow's game is actually absolutely a huge game
Tomorrow's
because
game is huge.
if we go into the Dodgers series and we're down by 1,
1.5,
yeah, 1.5, like it's a totally different story. You could
then 3.5. I agree.
yeah, you could win that series, and then all of a sudden it's like we're right there.
Yeah, I mean,
And
even
then,
if they go
you
in
know-
and they tread water and go 2.5 in like they are right now, you could win 2 out of 3 and only be 1.5 behind, and
Yeah.
it's a
and I mean, essentially,
series.
they're going in. It depends
And that's
on
one more series, yeah.
It
Yeah.
just depends on how the
But
Dodgers.
we're coming down to it. We're starting talking like this is the point of the season where we're starting talking about like the math situations, like if we do this and that and the other thing.
Yeah, but like 6
you know.
weeks ago, when they were 6 games
Plummet.
back
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever,
we
and
were
we
just like,
thought that
whatever.
the season was
Forget it.
over.
Yeah, forget it. Let's
I
start
mean,
thinking about next
would
year.
we have
Let's
thought
start-
we
well,
would
it was
have
at
the
the-
Giants would have
yeah.
been in this situation at this point?
I
No,
don't
we
think
weren't thinking that at all.
we were really
No.
thinking wild card at that point. We were like, well, maybe
Not even a
but
maybe wild card
God,
if we're
we looked
lucky.
so bad, and then all of a
But
sudden
now
it's
wild
like,
card
oh, hey,
seems sewn up, and now it's all
Yeah,
about
I mean,
the division.
and obviously,
No
you never
guarantee, but
you never want to
obviously
guarantee
not, but
anything
yeah.
sewn up. But wild card looks good.
It's going to take it's going to take quite a bit of
But
craziness.
the opportunity to push the struggling Dodgers into a 1-game wild card spot, man, if we could do that, that would be great.
It would be insane.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
think
See
about
Puig
that. They got to throw Kershaw
Have 2
out
errors
there.
in 1
Yeah.
inning and lose the wild
And who
card.
knows? Maybe
It'd be
they
great.
Kershaw because
Yeah.
they've set the Dodgers have set,
Set
their
the rotation
rotation
for
for us, and
Yeah.
so who knows if they even have Kershaw for the 1 game
We're
playoff.
facing Kershaw twice, aren't we? I'm
Yeah,
sure that's how
we're
they say it.
facing we're facing all the dudes. We're facing Kershaw, Greinke, and Ryu.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty much how it's gonna be.
Yep.
So we're gonna have to beat
And
those.
it's
We're
just
gonna have to
like,
beat two.
Is
two
Kershaw
out of
going
three of those
Friday?
guys. It might be
Kershaw
Saturday,
and
but I'm
Petit,
not
I think.
sure.
We are going Saturday.
Yeah, we're gonna be there on
It's
Saturday.
Al, pretty Al, and with
Yeah.
Ryu, it's get to him in the first inning or else Al.
Saturday's a big day for us. We'll be there.
You got to get to Ryu early.
I think we got to wrap this
Otherwise-
one up though, because I gotta go. No one else is in this bar. Should probably bail.
Yeah.
That seems like a safe idea.
So quickly before we wrap it up, why will we win it all? Ben, start with you.
Pitching looks really good up and down the rotation and up and down the bullpen. It's not just that the offense is starting to click, it's also that our pitchers are getting themselves out of situations that they were not getting themselves out of in June and July. That, if when Peavy had his meltdown in New York, you went, well, there goes that, but you weren't nearly as surprised because that's what the entire team was doing. Although Peavy's 6 no-hit innings were sort of one of the things that you look at when you say, well, this is where things slowly tilted towards turning around. But that's something that the team does not get out of that at that time. And now we're seeing stuff like Vogelsong gets bases loaded, and you go, oh, here it comes.
Yeah.
And he gets out of
And
it.
it doesn't come. Yeah.
I mean, you're waving the red cape in front of him as far as Lincecum being on the mound, but the fact remains. And I mean, the bullpen went through a really similar implosion during that same time. Affeldt wasn't. I mean, there was a period Affeldt was having trouble getting outs. Casilla was on and off. Machi stopped being the 0.63 ERA Machi and stopped vulturing wins. And obviously Romo had
Up to
plenty
7.
of major meltdowns at just the wrong time. And when they click, they tend to click as a unit. It's either one of them is going wrong, none of them, or all of them are going wrong.
Yeah.
And so when they're
Right now,
on, they all
nobody's
kind of,
going wrong right now. So
yeah, I
Here's
mean,
stuff.
we've had a couple of additions that are going really well as well, and that's going to be that. Even if they don't go postseason roster, they're going to be on that stretch.
Yeah.
To get there.
They're going to get
So
us
if
to
we're
that, yeah.
if we're going to win it all, it's going to be because the pitching up and down the rotation and bullpen looks really solid. Is getting out of jams, is cleaning up their own messes,
Yeah.
and is making their case for saying, offense, it is up to you to carry this. So I mean, that's what.
Yeah,
I
we'll keep you in the game. No, I absolutely agree. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say we're going to win it all because Pence is legging out infield ground balls.
Yep.
In the bottom of the 8th or
100%.
whatever with a 4-run lead.
Yep.
And when your team is playing like that, there's nothing is being taken for granted. You've got a nice lead, and Bochy comes in and he makes the move. You've got a nice lead, and Pence runs as hard as he fucking can down that line
Right.
on an infield. And you've got a nice lead, and
there's
everyone
no
is
let up.
diving, doing it. I mean, Crawford made some nice plays there towards the end.
Panic made
a
nice
great play today. Like, all these guys
Crazy
are
great
playing
play.
their hearts out right now and not taking anything for granted. They're not half-assing a moment.
If
And
anything, I feel like
this is
June
the way
and
a
July
team
taught
does
them
play.
that. June and July told you
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what your lead's at. There's always a chance you will
This
cough it up. You
is
have to
the
play hard
way
the
a
whole
team
time.
plays that gets to the playoffs and then
Yeah.
does damage in the playoffs. They play like this.
Yeah.
They don't ever take a playoff, and they go hard all the time. That's what they're doing right now.
Foot on the gas the whole way.
That's what they're doing.
Agreed.
Chad finishes off.
So when I talked to Hunter Pence, he said,
Name
no,
dropper.
not where I was going.
When Hunter and I had a chat over a game of
We're on a
Hearthstone.
podcast about the Giants.
Exactly.
Should
club-
be fine.
a clubhouse-
That should be okay.
Right. When Hunter and I had a fireside game in the
When
clubhouse
Hunter came to my
Wi-Fi,
house the other day, and we
he gave
hung
me a
out,
massage.
and he picked me up from work.
No,
we had kale shakes.
I had not heard that Bochy had talked to the players, and this might have been published somewhere else, but he said, we don't treat each game differently. Every game is important at this point. But he said Bochy talked to them just recently about pushing like they did in the 2010 season, pushing like they did in the 2012 season, and especially pushing like they did when their backs were against the wall against Cincinnati and St. Louis. And that is what he wants his players to push like right now.
Right.
Pretend like you are down
Play like you're going to be out.
to your elimination game. These
Yeah.
are all elimination games. Play like it is your last game. And, Hunter Pence obviously is the rallying
the
coach.
king of playing like
Yeah.
it's your last game, right?
And the
absolutely.
sunflower seed distributor of
Indeed.
of all kind. I think that the players completely understand what is going on, and if they treat this as they did with their crazy stretch run of 2010 and their playoff run of 2012, they are clicking on all cylinders. Their pitching is good, their hitting is good. Aside from the Colorado series, which is an outlier because it's Colorado,
Colorado.
they are proving that they are absolutely committed to this. And I I really don't have much of a doubt that they're going to take 4 out of 6 from the Dodgers. And if they do that, they're going to take the West. And they don't have to deal with a fucking wild card.
Right.
Because that is just a crapshoot in itself. So
It's a one game play.
I just think that the managerial skills of Bruce Bochy completely destroy Don Mattingly.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's just a matter
John
of...
Madden is flying by on pure talent.
Yeah.
Don Mattingly was
Dodgers
getting
are-
by because of like Adrian Gonzalez at this point.
Dodgers are more talented. Giants have the better
like Don
manager.
Mattingly
And
is,
I think that's why they're
the
going to win it all.
Yasiel Puig of managers. He's
Yeah.
just like, hey man, I'm just out here hustling.
All show.
He's like,
All show.
you know,
Make it-
sometimes I overthrow first base when I'm trying to weirdly throw somebody out on the back end of a pop up.
Twice.
Sometimes I do that.
The twice was the best
In one
part.
play.
Yeah.
Little League home run.
Whoops.
Yeah,
Whoops.
that was great.
All right.
It's not just him though, man. People aren't backing up bags on that team. There's a lot of things going wrong, and that's Mattingly's not teaching. Like, watch the Giants. Watch a guy like Susak come up from AAA,
Double A,
whatever.
I think.
Double A, right?
I don't see
And
that
watch
guy
him
AAA this year,
always
if I'm
run
wrong.
down the line to back up first base.
Right.
Like, watch them never mess up. Watch a guy make one mistake. I saw, I think it was Vogelsong maybe in one game didn't back up the plate, and I haven't seen him make the mistake since. Like it's just like
He learns.
that.
You learn.
That shit gets pointed out on this team.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, that's not
point that
kangaroo
out.
You
court
don't do
shit.
fundamentals.
you don't
No,
fuck
that is
that
serious
up.
shit.
Yeah. Like, oh, you're not hustling down the line, Buster Posey. You're our MVP star player, but you back first base up, you asshole.
Yeah.
That's a ground ball to shortstop.
Right.
What else are you doing? You just hanging out?
Right.
Yeah. No, that's the way the Giants are playing. That's not the way the Dodgers are playing. Like, that's why That's why they all score when the Dodgers overthrow bases.
Because no one is backing up the play. It's like you overthrow and it's almost in the seats,
and then
bouncing
some
off
dude
the
has to
wall.
hustle over
Well,
there,
if the Giants
and then no one's
face-
backing that thing up.
If the Giants face the
Crazy.
Dodgers in the playoffs, God forbid, that would be an incredible
It'd be
series.
so amazing if it came down to somebody not backing up.
Exactly. I was thinking Game 7, Game 5, whatever it is.
You're just sitting there
And you
just
have
like,
Puig making 2 errors, which cost them.
I was gonna say it's like it's like
I would love it.
4-4.
They're the best
and it's
ever.
like the 8th, and
love it.
AJ Ellis doesn't back up first base, and you're just
Yeah.
like,
I would love it. And then
I
what would be
told
the
you.
best thing
Field
too?
goal.
The best thing
Field
too
goal.
would be if it was Michael Morris who scored that run because he's the slowest motherfucker ever.
And just
like,
rip off
yeah.
his jersey. And,
Yeah,
that'd be
like-
just great.
Like he is the modern Benji Molina on our team.
I was
like,
gonna say, you just
rumbling around the bases. But if they can't even get that guy, that would be beautiful.
it's a walk off didn't back up first place. First base. It's not. We don't even call it a walk-off hit. It's a walk-off. Didn't back up first.
So that's gonna do it for episode 70.1.
Yeah.
Bonusode.
Just real quick, all three of us are going to be
At
at the park on Saturday. We will
That's
have
correct.
clubhouse access, so we're going to be
There's gonna be a lot of interviews and all that kind of crap.
talking to Clayton Kershaw and Yasiel Puig. Clearly, So-
Obviously.
No, I have an offer. I have an offer from
That's right. Chad's gonna get
from a Spanish baseball writer to translate Yasiel Puig for us.
so we can talk to Puig.
Just saying. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
look. We cover
Hey.
the Giants, but
I
wouldn't
just
that be
feel like
kind of
all
cool
I'm
to
gonna-
go
what
in
am I
there
gonna
and
talk to
get
him
a?
about? I'm gonna tell him like,
I
yeah,
don't
you know,
know.
I just don't really like you very much.
So how'd you like
That's-
those 2 errors that
Yeah.
you hadn't won any? No.
So how is it backing up
How
first
does
base?
it feel to set baseball back 10 years?
How is it having your OPS at 200 for the last 2 months? No. Anyway, all three of us will be there, so look for us on Saturday. I think that's going to be Kershaw versus, I want to say
Somebody.
Petit, but someone.
I don't think it's
No, 'cause he just pitched last night.
Yeah, I think it might
No,
be
Bumgarner's going Friday night against Ryu.
Oh, so
Oh,
then
so
it's probably
that
gonna be Hudson then.
Could be Huddy.
Yeah,
could
okay.
be. Anyway, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
Should be a
All
good
right, cool. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. Individually, we are at Willie Dills, at Fried Duck, and at ChadK21. You can also find us on TortureCast.com, Facebook, all the crap. Go do it. I want to thank whoever posted the Will Clark interview on Reddit. That was cool. We're obviously not going to do all that shit ourselves. So somebody posted it on
thank you.
there. That was awesome.
Sweet.
Keep doing that kind of stuff. If you find something of ours that you think is shareable on that, that's cool.
We're all about it.
I'm gonna try to go to. There's a SF Giants Reddit meetup. I'm gonna try to go to. I think it's on the 20th or something like that.
I'm probably
Yeah, but it sounds really fun. Sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, that'd be
so
cool.
I'm gonna
Very
try
cool.
to make it out to that. I think it's just. I don't think it's like at the ballpark. I think it's just meeting at a bar, and everyone hangs out and watches the game. So
As you do.
That sounds pretty sweet.
That's-
so we'll try
that's
to
right
make
up
it to
your
that.
alley,
We'll
man.
probably talk about it and tweet about it if we get it going. And that's gonna do it for 70.1. We'll see you guys next time. A boom.
Hey, don't turn off the podcast just yet. We have an interview with Matt Duffy coming right up.
Hey, so about that at bat you had there in the 8th inning, was it a straight bunt sign or was actually a safety squeeze was on?
It was a safety squeeze, and once the guy threw the 2 curveballs for balls, Boach took it off and gave me the freedom to swing, and I was just looking for something up to get a barrel on, hopefully get a sac fly out of it, and luckily found some grass.
What was that pitch that you hit? Was that a straight fastball? Because you had 2 curveballs first, right?
Yeah, fastball up and away.
And so, I mean, how is it? Obviously, you're coming up from Double-A. You don't have a tremendous amount of at-bats when you're up here, but you take every at-bat, as gold, I would think. I mean, what is the adrenaline rush going from Double-A to the major leagues and only getting a bat or 2 a week?
It definitely, every at-bat feels like your first at-bat of the season in terms of, like you said, the adrenaline rush. And that's the challenge, is calming yourself down and relaxing your muscles so you can just see the ball and react. That's coming as I'm getting more at-bats, but like you said, I mean, it's still tough not getting as many bats, but they do a good job preparing us, letting us know what the guy has, what he likes to throw in certain situations, and you just go up there, taking that information, see it, and try to relax and hit the ball.
Going from, 20 at-bats a week to 2, I mean, is that a tough adjustment?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, getting more at bats, I like to be more selective, and like you said, when you only get 2, you might get those just 2 pitches to hit in a week. So you got to be ready for those pitches. So I would say being ready to hit more often is also a challenge and an adjustment.
How difficult is it to switch from I'm up here to bunt to all of a sudden he takes it off and now your game plan is completely different?
I kind of half expected it once it got to 2-0, just because the situation. It's more of a damage count than a bunting count. I mean, I was ready to bunt if he still wanted me to, but being that I half expected it, I kind of wasn't too surprised, and I was ready and able to be aggressive from there.
It seems that, I guess this is the way it is with winning teams, but it's somebody different. It's a couple different guys each night. Last night we're over there talking to Panic. Tonight we're here talking to you. I mean, it's Posey last week. I mean, is this just the way that, teams win championships?
Yeah, it's definitely a part of it. I was telling Amy that hitting is contagious, I feel, and pitching as well. I mean, our pitchers have been throwing up quality start after quality start, it seems like. I can't remember the last time they didn't get into the 5th or 6th inning with, very few runs, giving us a chance to win games. So, yeah, I mean, everybody seems to be contributing. And I panic just watching him from my point of view. He's a rookie, but he doesn't carry himself like it. Granted, he's had more at-bats than me, but he carries himself with that relaxed confidence that seeing him do that gives me confidence to be able to do that because he's kind of in a similar situation. Granted, like I said, more at-bats, but still thrust into the middle of a pennant race as a rookie. So watching him helps a lot. And Buster's Buster. I can't even begin to describe how much he impresses me. It seems like he's always ready to hit, and he's always taking borderline pitches that it looks like he knows are coming, and so calm all the time. And watching those two guys especially, everybody but those two really stand out to give me confidence to relax and play.
And how does it feel to contribute to it? I mean, like you were talking about, you don't get to play that often, one at bat here and there, and yet, tonight you take advantage of that at bat, and as big an at bat as anybody had. As you drive home tonight, how you feel?
I mean, it feels awesome. And a skipper, right? It's like you said, it's tougher when you don't get as many at bats, but it's definitely a good feeling. I mean, I'm not going to downplay that at all, but tomorrow's a new day, and at this point, every single game is going to count. We got 6 coming up with the Dodgers, and while it is a good feeling, I do have to prepare myself like I'm going to play tomorrow and like I'm going to be in the same situation tomorrow, and knowing that the fact that I had success tonight doesn't mean I'm going to have success tomorrow, so I have to prepare myself the same way. And so yeah, it's exciting, but preparation doesn't end.
Thanks.
No problem, guys. Thank you.
A big thank you to everybody for listening to the TortureCast, the podcast by and for fans of the San Francisco Giants. Follow us on Twitter at TortureCast. You can also like us on Facebook or check out our blog at TortureCast.com. I also want to say thank you to Ashcon and Bailey for letting us use their song Feeling Like a Giant for our intro. For Ben Lee and Chad King, my name is Willie Dills saying, we'll see you next time.